brothers and sisters, hear now the word that comes through the text this morning. The question brought before the Father was this: YHWH, is the Ark of the Covenant located under the Temple Mount in Jerusalem? And the first verse drawn, the lead verse, was Colossians chapter 4, verse 18. The salutation by my hand of Paul. Remember my bonds. Grace be with you. Not a map, not a coordinate, a command to remember bonds, and then a benediction of grace. The Father's first word to the one who asks about the ark is not "here it is" or "here it is not." It is remember. Remember what is held. Remember what is bound. Remember the cost of covenant witness. And over that remembering, grace be with you. The inquiry is received not with rebuke, but with an invitation sealed in covenant favor. Now hear what the text builds from there. In 1 Chronicles chapter 28, verse 18, the pattern of the temple is laid out in refined gold by weight, and the words name the ark directly. Gold for the pattern of the chariot of the cherubim that spread out their wings and covered the ark of the covenant of YHWH. Covered, not lost, not destroyed, covered by the wings of the cherubim in the pattern given for the house. And in Joshua chapter 6, verse 8, the ark is named again, this time in motion. The 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns passed on before YHWH, and the ark of the covenant of YHWH followed them. The ark moves behind the priesthood. It belongs to the priestly procession, not to the excavator's trench. And who carries the priesthood? Joshua chapter 18, verse 7 answers plainly. The Levites have no part among you, because the priesthood of YHWH is their covenant inheritance. The ark belongs to the priestly inheritance. Its keeping, its covering, its manifestation, all of these are bound to the priesthood that bears the memorial. In Exodus chapter 28, verse 12 commands that the 2 stones be placed on the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial to the children of Israel, and Aaron will bear their names before YHWH on his 2 shoulders for a memorial. The ark's location is a priestly question before it is a geographical one. And in 1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 6, Abiathar comes down to David with the ephod in his hand. The instruments of sacred inquiry travel with the priesthood, not with the surveyor. But the text does not let us approach without trembling. Ezra chapter 9, verse 4 says that everyone assembled who trembled at the words of the Elohim of Israel, because of the covenant transgression of those who had been carried away. And Ezra sat appalled until the evening consecrated sacrifice. The hiddenness of the ark is woven into the story of covenant breach. Isaiah chapter 27, verse 9 confirms it. By this is the depravity of Jacob covered, and is setting all the stones of an altar of consecration. The covering of the ark and the covering of covenant violation are tied together at the altar. And Isaiah chapter 53, verse 10 goes further still. It pleased YHWH to bruise him. When you will make his life a priestly offering for guilt, he will see his seed, he will prolong his days. The mercy seat, once sprinkled with blood, finds its ultimate covering in the priestly offering of the servant. Daniel chapter 9, verses 20 and 21, gives the posture for this very question. Daniel prays for the holy mount of my Elohim, confessing the covenant violation of his people, and Gabriel comes to him around the time of the evening priestly offering. The revelation concerning the holy mount arrives at the appointed hour of sacrifice. Not before, not after, at the appointed time. And Psalms chapter 5, verse 7 echoes the same orientation. I will come into your house in the multitude of your covenant mercy, and in your fear I will worship toward your holy temple. Daniel and David both pray toward a place they cannot physically enter. The hidden ark calls for directional faithfulness, not physical access. And that appointed time runs through the whole draw. 23 of the 100 verses carry the thread of timing and appointed season. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 4 establishes the appointed seasonal festivals of YHWH, sacred assemblies commissioned for the appointed place. The location and the time are covenantal categories, bound together. Malachi chapter 3, Verse 11 declares that YHWH will rebuke the destroyer so that the vine will not cast its fruit before the time in the field. The unveiling will not come prematurely. In Luke chapter 2, verse 25 gives the living picture. Simeon in Jerusalem, covenant faithful and devout, waiting for the consolation of Israel, and the sacred spirit was upon him. He does not dig. He waits, and the revelation comes. Now the numbers confirm what the text declares. The deterministic verdict is lean yes, probably affirmative, with a probability of yes at 94.1%. The claim classification is strong anomaly. All confirmatory gates pass. The dominion triad, the convergence of identity, inheritance, and priesthood, fires at over 10 times the baseline rate, reaching 6.61 sigma, which is discovery level. The guided draw e-value, the Fisher combined probability across all markers, returns a chi-squared of 97.06 with a p-value of 9.49 times 10 to the minus 11. That is less than 1 in 10 billion. The convergence confidence index stands at 88% with all 6 channels active, crossing the threshold. The polarity balance index reads positive 1.082, leaning yes. Even after the false discovery rate correction at alpha of 0.05, 3 of 12 markers survive. The numbers do not whisper. They declare. And yet the text holds the affirmation in covenant tension. Job chapter 41, verse 15 says the scales are shut up together as with a close seal. The ark is sealed. The seal belongs to YHWH, not to human curiosity. Colossians chapter 1, verse 27 names the hidden thing among the Gentiles, which is Messiah in you, the hope of glory. The ark pointed to a presence that now indwells the covenant faithful. Mark chapter 14, verse 24 establishes the blood of the New Testament shed for many. The physical ark, if it rests beneath the mount, rests as a witness to covenant faithfulness, not as the locus of atonement. The reality has come. The shadow remains as testimony. In Enoch chapter 71, verse 21 seals the promise over the whole. All shall walk in his ways, since covenant faithfulness never forsakes him. The ark is not forsaken. The mount is not forsaken. The covenant holds. Isaiah chapter 61, verse 8 adds the Father's own oath. I will direct their work in covenant truth, and I will make an age-lasting covenant with them. So here is the plain answer to the question asked. The text and the numbers together lean yes. The Ark of the Covenant belongs to the sacred architecture of the Temple Mount. Its hiddenness is not evidence of absence. It is evidence of covering, of seal, of appointed season. The cherubim spread their wings over it in the pattern. The priesthood carries its memorial. The covenant faithfulness of YHWH has not forsaken Zion. But the unveiling waits on the appointed time, on the evening sacrifice, on the priesthood that bears the ephod of inquiry. The inquirer is not called to dig. The inquirer is called to remember the bonds, to tremble at the words of Elohim, to worship toward the holy temple, and to wait, as Simeon waited, covenant faithful and devout, for the consolation of Israel. Remember my bonds. Grace be with you. This is the word to those who asked. Delivered whole, without softening, without inflation, in covenant truth. Selah. The verses drawn in this Shield 17.14 session were Colossians chapter 4, verse 18, Enoch chapter 62, verse 15, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 24, Ezra chapter 9, verse 4, Daniel chapter 10, verse 19, Hebrews chapter 7, verse 7. This concludes today's interpretation under the Shield